Yo, what's up everybody? It's Drew Berry and we just got a new OTA. In fact, it's just gone live right now. So you can open up your client and see all of these changed cards. And we got 6 of them here today. And I have some feelings about the patch, but I want to say off the hop, I think it's okay. Just okay, because we did get 5 buffs. 5 cards got buffed, which is always kind of nice to see, more buffs than nerfs. But the one nerf, it has some feels bad to it a little bit. We'll get to that. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about it right now. So the one nerf that happened this OTA is Red Hulk, going from 6'11 to 6'9. It was said in the comments that Red Hulk is the best performing 6-cost card since his release, which was 3 weeks ago as a Series 5 6,000 token card. Anyways, now going down to a 6'9. He was pretty much in every deck and he was getting 8 cubes left, right, and center, even when he was not played. Who would have saw that coming? Well, I'll tell you, I did. When I talked about it in the Snapper Pass, and everybody was freaking out because the opponent sees the power that Red Hulk gains, and I was like, nah, it's probably not going to be that big a deal. Turns out to be the best card for at least the last 3 weeks. Now, is Red Hulk still going to be one of the best 6-cost cards? Yes, I do believe so. You know, we're losing 2 power, but if we get 1 trigger, which if you've played any Red Hulk, you know, pretty much happens every single game, you're going to 13. We're cool with that. And then if we get another trigger, we're even happier. We're going to 17. That's what you need out of your Red Hulk. So I think this card is perfectly fine. I think this is a pretty, you know, not too bad of a change. They could have went with +3 rather, on the ability rather than actually affecting his base power. And that probably would have hurt it a little bit more. So I think this was a fairly safe route to take, but, and a big but, a lot of people just spent a lot of resources to get this card, especially as it was overperforming. So it's another one of those really like gross situations of, you know, card, it costs so much money to acquire, or at least time to acquire. And then, you know, and that window closes and the spotlight caches. So people got to use tokens to pick it up if they're late. And now the card gets nerfed. And it feels a little bit bad, especially if it does, you know, plummet quite a bit in its utility and not found in as many decks. Now, of course, the game lets you know that when you buy things, like, you gotta be sure about it because everything is subject to change and it's all fair game. But you can't help but kind of think, yeah, that's, for some folks, that's definitely gonna be pretty tilting. So, you know, it has to happen. Balance over compensation. That's always been the way. But it's dicey, man, especially when cards are so good like that and you want to pick them up. Where the flip side is you have a card like USAGENT, who pretty notoriously was either 1, did not provide enough sales when it had its spotlight cache week, or 2, was underperforming in the stats category, so they decided to buff him. Now, this is one of the quickest buffs I think I've ever seen in Marvel Snap. This card literally came out 2 weeks ago. Like, this is wild. We had Red Guardian last week. We had just had White Widow, and USAGENT was the week before. So I think it's been like 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. So bam, getting a buff, going from -3, which is what he's giving out, right? His ability is afflicting cards that cost 4, 5, or 6 with -3 power, and now he's afflicting them with -4. That's pretty substantial. 1 trigger of that makes him a 2/7, and you're probably playing this in a location where there is at least one of those cards, and any more than that, this is amazing value. So his scaling just went up. I think they could have been really passive and made him a 2/4 instead. Instead, they went with the ability, which could of course be nullified with like Luke Cage and stuff like that. So I can see why they would take this route, but still feels a little bit early, man. Like, it almost makes me wish that these 2 changes that they hit for these 2 cards had been in the client ready to go when these cards released. Instead, it was kind of a reaction change, and a necessary one, a makes sense one, but it's just a little bit timing difficult versus the economy. Because I personally passed on USAGENT, and now if he's like the hot stuff for the next month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, then I lose out because the card was trash during its 1 week spotlight cache release. That also feels a little bit bad. Okay, let's talk about the good, because those 2 are a little bit of the annoying ones, only because of their proximity to when they were released to now when they've been changed. let's talk about the good ones. So you got Mantis going to a 1/2. This card was changed to a 2/2, I think, and it had like a new ability of copying. I've never even seen this played since. I still think of her as her old Mantis, and now she's a 1/2, which was her original stat line. Happy for it. That's the way it probably should be. I think you get a copy if you time when you play the card, like the Guardians effect. You get a copy now of whatever was played. Very cool. Maybe sees play now, probably not. Then you got Stature going back to 7 power. Used to be 6, got nerfed because Black Bolt and Stature used to be actually one of the better combos in the game. That was about a year ago, and when it got nerfed, you haven't really seen it since. Now Stature and Black Bolt are 7 power, so Cerebro 7 is real. Probably not, but still kind of funny to think about. Then you got Jane Foster going up to 9 power. Dude, who saw this coming? I didn't have this on my bingo card. Let's go. I kind of like it because what's more fun than stuffing your deck full of hammers? Just a bunch of Mjolnirs and a bunch of the other one. Stormbreaker almost lost it. Or Mr. Negative upside too. She does pretty well in Mr. Negative. So those two decks definitely get a little bit more support here with the extra power boost. 5/9 is nothing to laugh about with a good ability. So that is a pretty legit card right there with Jane Foster. And you're dodging Shang-Chi. You are under that 10 power threshold, which is all so important. Okay, and then lastly, you got Jean Grey going to 4 power instead of 3 power. I like that a lot because I like Jean Grey, the character, and the variance that she has, and the ability is interesting. I just don't think this is enough to actually make a substantial change. I think we're just going to see a very small uptick in her play rate because people are like, ooh, it changed, and then that's going to drop off real quick, and we're not going to see her all that much after that. But still, love to see a little bit of buffing for those underplayed cards. Now, everybody keep in mind, we have a patch that hopefully it's not late again, but hopefully the patch is coming out next week. So this is only the beginning of a few changes. Of course, we're going to have more balance changes, which tend to be sometimes the bigger ones, coming on patch day, which is going to be on Tuesday. I think it's April 30th. So stay tuned for that. I will cover that and let you guys know all those updates. Like I've been saying for a while, I have my eyes on these patches. I'm hoping for something big. Fingers crossed. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the OTA and some of these changes. Let me know what you think about them in the comments below. I'll catch you guys next time.